Hello YouTube, it's Chris, Wazo Briars. I just popped into the workshop. I was planning to have a day off today, but I needed to get this pipe finished for a chap called Chris in the UK, and I promised him I'll post it tomorrow. So I've popped in and given it its first wax and a bowl coat, and then I shall pop in and wax it again tomorrow, and ship it off in the post to him. I'm smoking. I'm pretty sure it's my great grandfather's pipe. It's the only pipe my grandfather looked after. So, and he wasn't one for poshness when it came to um, smoking his pipe. He would smoke pipes till they fell apart and then get a new one. So, but this one was cared for. This is an AOC Keystone with a silver accent band. Really nice little billiard for a shortish smoke. Quite robust as well. Fairly thick walls. That's good. And I'm smoking this stuff, Hamburger Wehrmaster, which is made by Dan Tobacco in Germany, and it's a Virginia flake. People sing its praises, so I got myself a few tins. It's dirt cheap in Europe, less than €10, and thought, well, it can't hurt. And Virginia age as well, usually anyway. So even an indifferent Virginia can end up being glorious after 4 or 5 years, can't it? So it was a no-brainer. But when I opened the tin, it had this kind of stale kind of taste to it, and I was kind of like, what's all the fuss about? But I think that's just one of those things sometimes with Virginias when you open the tin. So I threw it in a jar. It's been in a jar for a month or so, and I revisited it today, and suddenly it's really complex and nice and sweet and mellow and moreish. It's really a totally different beast when I cracked the tin open. So go figure. It must have been something to do with moisture levels or something. I don't know. Really nice. So apologies, Dan Tobacco. That is one cracking tobacco. Really good. I should never have doubted you. So this pipe was a really good challenge. There was it was an interesting colour palette. First of all, a new skill for me to acquire. Second of all, and a challenging shape. So let's address that. Chris is into comic book characters or superhero characters, whatever you want to call them, and asked for a poison ivy themed pipe. So that's purple and green. Really cool colour palette. Not something I normally do. So I think I've only made 2 green pipes before this one. One was a forest themed pipe, and the other was my first go at a reverse calabash Nautilus style pipe. And I think I chose the colour for that one. I discussed it with Kev, the customer, and he said, yeah, go for it, and I went green, and it was good effect. But I know green's kind of a marmitey thing when it comes to pipes. People sort of either love it or hate it. So I'm not expecting everyone to love this pipe on the basis of that, but I do. So that was the first thing. The second thing Chris wanted is he wanted a panelled pipe, and I'd never done panelling before, which was a really great experience because there's so much precision involved. You really got to mark it out correctly first, obviously. So you got to shape a perfect pipe, and then you know, can mark your lines. How I did it was I marked out the top of the block. So imagine this is the top of the block. I marked out before I did any of the drilling where my my panels were going to start, so I could have some uniformity from the center. And I made that sure that was really marked out well, and then I worked sort of down the briar from that after I'd shaped a regular sort of curved pipe. So that was super interesting. There are no shortcuts with any of that. It's all got to be done by hand. Filing, you know, if you go too heavy with something, and you make your line wobble, you know, you've screwed it. You've screwed the shape. You've screwed everything. So slow and steady for that, which is good. It's not necessarily part of my nature, but I can learn to be like that, and I am learning to be like that. So you know, it's the same with chefing. It's not my nature to be all sort of fancy schmancy, but it's a requirement of the job. So so it's good, and it's good to. I think it's really good to sort of learn to be a certain way that you're not naturally. How shall we say that? So yeah, so that was good. That was good for me personally. And then the other thing was he wanted it to be a prince, and prince is quite a tricky shape to get right. Go too high on it, and you've got an apple. Go too low on it, and you've got a squashed tomato. It really sort of sits in between shapes. So it's tricky to get a good prince shape. So anyway, without further ado, here it is. It's really cool. I did a black and green contrast because that's a neighbour going to work. Black and green contrast because with sort of the lighter stains or stains, sometimes you need something to bolster the grain and bring out the character. As usual, my camera is not showing this off at all, but there's some beautiful bird's eye. It's picked up all the flecks of the fibres throughout, and then the straight grain is running sort of with the lines that I've created on the panelling. So it was really a thanks, Chris, for the opportunity, because it was really a cool activity for me. Also, he wanted a mortar accent, so I've given him one of those. And the stem material is Eldritch purple. I'm not sure what he calls it. Sorry, Chris. But super cool stem material, and I think it's sort of shouting out Poison Ivy panel prints, isn't it? So really happy with how that turned out. I hope put my teeth back in. I'm hoping Chris will be very happy with this, because I am. And he also wanted a tamper, so I made him a tamper with the same purple resin from Chris Kelly at Eldritch. The green, it's really not doing it justice. Oh well. And a mortar accent at the top. So that was that. That was this week. I'm kind of getting about a pipe a week done, I guess, at the minute, but that's because of work commitments in the restaurant. Come February, all hell will break loose, I'm sure, with the next school holiday. And then after that, around Easter time, the restaurant will be closed, and I can have a little holiday, and I can get stuck into some pipes. So I'm very really looking forward to that. But at the minute, things are fine, just ticking over, and just how I like it whilst I'm working in the restaurant. So it's good. So that's me done. Like I say, just popped into the workshop to get that pipe finished. I'll give it another wax tomorrow before I send it off. And yeah, Cool. Next pipe for next week, which I've marked out and started, is a trumpet with a difference, because Jay in the States is after a straight version of the trumpet. He prefers straight pipes. That was finished. So I'm looking forward to cracking on with that after a false start. The dreaded pits, and that one is too deep. So that was a shame, because I thought this was a glorious block. This one is a glorious block as well, so if you're watching Jay, don't worry. It's got a fantastic tight, gnarly burl plateau, and so it should be interesting once it's drilled to start cutting into it and finding the grain and making a pipe. So from precision and measuring and all that jazz, to touch and feel and following the grain, totally different. But there we go. That's why I love it. So have a great rest of the day, everyone, and I will hopefully be back in touch next week with that bad boy. So, all right, all the best. Take care.